situation is not possible.
Yeah, it's been rolled out over the next 5 years, but it's better than nothing, I would have to say. Now, also on the top page of the Standard, we have Raila hosts CSs in Kisumu and speaks on SGR. Now, this story has been making headlines. Yesterday, there was an assertion that this is related to 2022 politics, and he's just trying to bring his allies closer. But then the meeting actually happened, and we're told it's teased all is not lost. Speaking on the issue of for the first time since he and President Uhuru Kenyatta returned from China, Raila said they did not fail to secure a loan and plan was still on. This is on page 4 and further digs deeper onto the silence of the president, the alleged silence, and a lot of people are worried about whether he's okay, whether he's ill, whether he's upset about the SGR loan not being granted by China. But of course also Raila Odinga broke his silence on that. And what do you feel when you see the story on Raila Odinga and Raila Odinga speaking about the SGR and all the sentiments that are surrounding it? I'll start with you, Honorable Nguna.
Let me say that this move of borrowing so that we can build a standard gauge railway,
yes,
I am opposed to the idea.
You're opposed to it?
Because I made a very quick calculations on this amount we are going to use on SGR. And I can tell you, if we can implement that bill we passed in Parliament of tarmacking roads in 10 kilometers per constituency per year, I think this money can be used better than making a standard gauge railway, which is not going to add the value to our economy.
But some would argue that this would open us up to business with the outside world, including said China, and then this would help just open up Kenya and other parts of the country and ease in transport to all parts of the country, as well as reduce the backlog of at the port. What do you feel? Because this is also a sentiment that points to economic growth.
I fully doubt it. How are we going to benefit connecting Lake Victoria with a standard gauge railway? If it could have been Lamu or Mombasa being under standard gauge railway, it would have made sense. But at the moment, let us use this money to build roads in our constituencies and spread development. There are constituencies like mine, Mwingi West, without a single tarmac of road, a single inch of tarmac road, and I think it is high time we implement this bill for tarmacking 10 kilometers per constituency every year.
Yeah, so according to you, prioritization, are there other better priorities than that SGR and the loan? What do you feel about that, Mr. the Honorable Odhiambo?
I think any country that wants to develop must realize that infrastructural development is key to economic growth and advancement. If you go to Europe, for example, you have SGR, that is electric, that you can connect to any city in Europe.
Right.
I think what is prudent for us as a country is to plan going forward, plan another 10 years. If we are able to get the loan, then I would say it's a tick for the country.
Right.
Because if you get SGR to Kisumu, you'll be connecting Uganda and Tanzania. You'll be reducing transportation of goods on the road from Kisumu to Busia. You'll be transporting on the lake, which I think would be a good thing.
It is a good
to spark
thing.
growth in Western Kenya.
Yeah, a lot of economists actually support the idea. The trade route between the coast and the eastern region, because Kenya is an inroad to other countries in Central Africa. So on a larger scale, it is a good idea. But then I guess a lot of people have a problem with the implementation rather than the fact what the positive thing that it is. It's the implementation that a lot of people question. But then there's the question of Uhuru Kenyatta being quiet. Do you think he's quiet, Honorable Nguna?
I think
some of the people who have been asked, is he sick? Is he unwell? Is he upset? Do you support these sentiments?
I think sometimes commercial break is allowed for anybody.
Yeah.
Especially issues to deal with the media, social media, and other media. And I would like to say that let's believe what Kansas said
told
actually.
Us yesterday.
Yes, I think our president is taking rest. And the most important thing is now at the moment trying to plan how to fix the economy.
Yeah.
So I think Uhuru is not really.
He's not.
He's just resting. It's a commercial break for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Honorable Odhiambo, do you feel that he's unjustified in his silence, or there's something wrong?
I already pronounced myself on this issue yesterday in the Standard.
Yeah.
And I said the president is focused.
He's focused
on the development of this country. I mean, as a leader, you have moments of self-introspection.
This is true.
To be able to reevaluate your path and see how the country can progressively move forward. And I think this is what he's doing, because he said we should stop loitering. Let us focus on the development of this country.
And he has his agenda.
And I think that's what His Excellency, the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, is doing.
Right. Yeah. Now, the nation is talking about agriculture and says there's a new plan to revive the agricultural sector. And agriculture is one of the country's largest economic activities, and we have great farmlands, and we have a lot of potential. But of course, we're not where we need to be. So the Standard, rather the nation, is outlining a very elaborate story right there that tells us how that is going to implement it. When you see such stories, it's far away from politics, it's far away from our usual shenanigans. What do you feel, Honorable Nguna, about that one?
I think this is a very good move. We properly implement it. One of the key, the big four agenda for the president was food security.
Yes.
And us doing a proper mechanism to ensure there is food security in our country, it will be a good idea. But let us ask ourselves, all these billions we have been setting towards agriculture, like a hydro irrigation scheme, it was there. Money was squandered, and people were just left. We need to fight corruption first before investing money to ensure our people get the 3 E's, or rather the 3 E's, so that we can implement this system very well. Otherwise, it is an exercise in futility if at all we are going to invest the money and it will end up just being just a white elephant project. So I allowed the president, I allowed the ministry, but still we need to put up the mechanism on how we are going to have what we call equitable distribution of these resources to each county to ensure food security is accomplished.
Because to add to what you say, as much as we have great farmland,